This is it, guys, the car you've all been waiting for, the new Proton X50. I've been in this line for quite a while now, but I can't remember a single car to carry this much hype around it. Now that we have full access to this brand new B-segment SUV, let's take a closer look inside and outside to see what's what. But fair warning though, if you already have a car around this size, around this price, I think you'll feel very, very jealous after watching this. Although if you're waiting to see if this car's worth your money, I think you'll go away very convinced indeed. First things first, I'm sorry to disappoint that this is still a preview of the car, not an actual launch yet. So we don't have the full pricing or even the full variant breakdown of the X50 just yet. We have to wait a little bit more for all that, but stay tuned to proton.org for more details on this brand new car. What we have here is full access to the top of the range Proton X50 that we have over here. As you know, the X50 is based on an existing Geely model, the Bin Yue, SX11 or Cool Ray as it's known in other markets. This one is locally assembled here in Tanjung Malim right from the start. I've got to say this though, it looks bloody fantastic, doesn't it? I've seen this car in photos for the past 1 year now, but seeing it in the flesh, it's a whole different experience. It's just so unique, so fresh, so sporty, so modern. It just looks fantastic. From the front, you'll see that the bonnet extends further forward compared to the front grille, so this gives it a much more aggressive front face. The bonnet itself carries a lot of positive lines leading towards the front grille, where it carries the new round Proton logo. Surrounding it is Proton's infinite weave front grille, but here it's finished in gloss black, which again adds a bit of sporty flavor to the whole car. The grille is framed by this red line, which has a matte finish. Now this stands in contrast against the piano black front grille, as well as matching this full satin chrome silver finish on this front wing. Moving further down, you get a lot of colors as well. More piano black and then plain black, and then a lot of carbon fiber finish that is extended around the entire car to give it that extra sporty look as well. The headlamps are fully nestled within this chrome piece, and inside it are full LED DRLs with LED main beam as well. Even the fog lamps are LED on this flagship model. Around the side, this car carries 18-inch alloys in dual tone design with red calipers both front and back. The tyres are also very nice Continental UC6, which is a high performance model. This particular car comes with a two-tone paint job with the roof and the side mirrors finished in black. What's more interesting is the D-pillar over here, where there's a small kink going upwards, plus the black roof makes it look like it's floating. This is a floating roof design that is very popular in current car designs. Around the back, you get this thick satin chrome finish, carrying the Proton script very proudly. One thing though, each letter is put on individually, so I hope they don't go in the way of the Proton Suprema S. If you know, you know. The tail lamps themselves are full LED units with this nice wing design. I think it's going to look fantastic when you see it at night. Up top, you get this small spoiler design, which is not as big as the one you've seen in other markets such as the Philippines and in China, the one with the big S logo. I think this looks better as a whole. Further down, this car gets the full quad tailpipe layout, which I think looks great, really fits the whole look of the car. And you know what? The pipes are actually properly connected. Now AMG, this is how you do quad tailpipes. Before we head inside, let's talk about this car's dimensions for a quick bit. I'm not going to throw you all sorts of numbers. Let's just say this is about the same size as a Honda HR-V. In terms of overall length, this car is pretty much identical with the HR-V, although this particular car is a bit wider, a little bit taller, even though wheelbase is a bit shorter compared to the Honda HR-V. In terms of platform, this car is built on Geely's BMA architecture, which is a modular platform, and no, it's not shared with Volvo. This is Geely's own. But still, this is built to the same level of sophistication as European car makers and to the specifications of Euro NCAP 5-star models. Now finally, let's head on inside. If you think this car looks good on the outside, the interior is absolutely mind-blowing. It is amazing in terms of quality, in terms of design, as well as equipment. First thing you'll notice is the two-tone black and red interior, and this is not just any red that they've chosen. This particular shade of red has been chosen so it doesn't take too much attention from the driver while being safe, as well as not being too reflective to reflect on the windscreen while you're driving. There's also a very tasteful use of the black and red theme. Just the top of the dashboard is red, while the seats are mostly black with just red on the sides. So the base of the seats are fully black, so they don't get dirty as much. The seats themselves are really nice. They really hug your body around the sides, and the leather used here is not quite Napa leather quality, but is very, very good. It definitely feels rather premium inside here. Moving on to quality, it's something else as well. At the top here is mostly soft touch plastics, which you won't find even on the Honda HR-V. As you go down, the plastics get harder obviously, but then again, this is still a very nicely put together B-segment SUV. If you go around the car looking for cheap plastics, you'll find one or two things here and there, but as a whole, overall, I think you can't really fault this car. Onto the design highlights, this car as a whole, Proton says carries a lot of aviation design cues. On the outside, the chrome lines are meant to look like tiny little jet wings, while on the inside, the side aircon vents are meant to look like jet engine turbines. As for the screen, this car comes with a fully digital instrument cluster with configurable themes whether you're in sport, normal or eco. One thing to note is that this car has a huge temperature gauge, so if you've been looking for one, yeah, there you go. The center screen over here is a widescreen display with the latest GKUI 19 interface. This has a much nicer interface compared to the older unit in the X50. So this system supports voice recognition obviously.
Hi Proton.
Hey.
Open all windows.
Okay, window has been opened for you.
But then again, I don't think that's of much use to anybody. It also has Juke's music, which again I'm not really a big fan of, but the system itself, it looks quite good. It's very slick to use, very responsive, and I think it's a big upgrade compared to the X70. In terms of practicality, this car is not too bad. You get a big hole down here underneath the armrest, a pair of cup holders in the middle here, plus a tray for your smartphones underneath the aircon controls. There's also a small little hole down there for, I don't know, things you want to keep hidden. Even the glove box, it opens up with a nice little padding. It doesn't just drop down like in a Honda Accord, for instance. There is a dedicated compartment for your sunglasses, which I think is really cool. And if you're interested, the signal stock is still on the left side of the car. But of course, it's not all positive news. Disappointments include the steering wheel that feels slightly off-center and the slightly blurry all-around view camera. As for rear legroom, it's actually very, very good. Not to the standards of the Honda HR-V, of course, but as far as small SUVs go, this is very decent indeed. There's a lot of legroom left, and headroom is not too bad considering this car's sloping roofline. I've still got a lot of headroom left. Even if you're especially tall, you should be able to fit in the back here just fine. What's especially good is the inclusion of rear aircon vents, which is a unique to Malaysia item. This car in China and even in the Philippines do not get rear aircon vents, but that has not been fitted to the Malaysian model. That is fantastic. You also get a pair of USB chargers in the back here for your kids or your passengers to charge all your gadgets. Last but not least, the panoramic sunroof. You know, I'm not a big fan of sunroofs in Malaysia, but you know what? In this car, it just fits. It looks really good. A quick note on the seats, you can't recline the backrest, but the angle is actually set quite nicely, so I think this is quite comfortable for longer journeys for your kids in the back here. One small drawback is the use of hard plastics on the rear door cards instead of the plusher materials up front. In this respect, the Honda HR-V has a small advantage. As for the boot, it's not massive at just over 330 litres. That's 100 litres less compared to the Honda HR-V, but as far as SUVs go, it's not too bad. There's also a space saver spare tyre underneath the boot floor, even though the brand is Silun. I've never heard of that. In terms of safety, this car should get 6 airbags and electronic stability control as standard across the entire range, but only the top spec model will get the ADAS or Advanced Driving Assist systems to include AEB, Autonomous Emergency Braking, Active Lane Keep Assist, Adaptive Cruise Control, and even Active High Beam Assist. Now Proton says this will give you a level 2 semi-autonomous driving features, so in certain driving conditions, this car can practically drive itself. That is a step up even compared to the bigger Proton X70. You can also see that this car has 6 parking sensors both front and back, and this is to help the car park itself. One last thing to note is the engine under the hood. This car will get 2 engine options, both 3 cylinders, 1.5 litre turbocharged motors. The top spec 1.5 TD model will get a direct injection turbocharged engine, and that will make 177 horsepower and 255 Newton meters of torque. Paired together with a 7-speed wet dual clutch transmission just like the X70, this car should go from 0 to 100 in just under 8 seconds, 7.9 seconds. In case you're wondering, yes, the engine and transmission are both co-developed between Geely and Volvo. So technically, this Proton is powered by a Volvo engine. Having said that, the lack of paddle shifters will disappoint some people. So there you go, the all-new Proton X50. There's a lot to like and frankly not a lot to not like about this car. We still don't know anything about the prices just yet, but we've been told that there will be 4 variants to choose from: the standard, executive, premium, and the top of the range flagship model. Yes, the variant is called the flagship. I'm not a big fan of it myself. I guess it's more common in China, but yeah, not anywhere else in the world. In any case, what do you think of this car as it is right now? Let me know in the comment section below. For now, thank you for watching and stay safe everyone.